In this presentation, we will take a look at future value with the use of months rather than years as the period. This is going to be our information up top. We have the periods 5, this time in terms of months rather than in terms of years. The amount 10,000, the rate 12%. 3 ways we can do this. We can do this with formulas. We can do this with the tables. We can do this with Excel. We're going to be taking a look at the tables and Excel in this example. If we look at the table to the right, we have the rate and we have the period. Rate up top, the periods to the left. The main point here is that we don't see the rate per period. In other words, what are we talking about? Months, years, or whatnot? What's going to be the period that we are using? Not given in the table. We can use the tables as long as we use the same period in terms of the rates and the number of periods. The periods we can't change on the table. It is what it is. It's going to be 5 periods. The rate we can change. So the rate we change by saying, hey, this is 12%. We want a monthly rate. Therefore, we can take that and divide it by 12, and that'll give us our monthly rate. Note that in order to use the tables, because they only have even percentages, we can only do this if we had some monthly rate that was even to use the tables. And that's not always the case. Therefore, the tables aren't always the best thing to use. And that's also why they might not have monthly type of periods within book questions if they're requiring us to use the table. In practice, we may well have months. It's not a problem for us to use fractions within an Excel type of calculation. Okay, so we're going to take the 12%, we'll divide it by 12, we'll get 1% per month. So here's our 1% per month. And here is the 5 number of periods. So we're going to have the amount of 1.0510. So the amount 10,000, then our table amount 1.0510, and that's going to give us our future value 10,510. So again, that's going to be with the use of the 1% as opposed to the 12%, given the fact we're talking about months rather than years. That's the key point. If we look at Excel, then same data now in Excel, future value function, FV function that we will be using. Here's the function box, rate up top. The B4 is going to be the cell. So here's B4. That's going to be 12%. So there's our B4 divided by 12. That's the key point. Now, if it was something other than a even number, then that would be okay for Excel. In this case, it's 1%. So 1% is going to be what we have. Then we're going to have the number of periods is B2, 5. Those two coincide, 5 months, monthly rate. And then we have the payment is going to be 0, this not being an annuity, but a single sum. Present value then B3. B3 being the 10,000 result is negative 10,510. And then, of course, if we show that in Excel, it's going to be recorded. If we want to flip the sign, we can put a negative in front of the future value. That's how I would do it. And that'll give you a positive number, in essence, taking in the balance, multiplying it times -1. And then so here we have the future value brackets, the rate, if we want to type it in this way, which we can, of course, type it in this way as well. The rate being in B4, so within B4, we have the 12%, taking that, dividing it by 12. The next function, we use a comma, then go to the next argument, which is the number of periods. So that's going to be in B2. So B2 is 5. And then we say comma, go to the next argument, the number of the payment. That's going to be 0 because this is not an annuity. We're talking about a single sum. And then the next argument in B3 is going to be the present value. That's in B3. That's the 10,000.